In the Heart of the Word. Reflections by Father Joseph Mary, SCTJM, on the daily readings of the Holy Mass. Friday of the 7th week of Ordinary Time. God's plan for man and woman.
God bless you, dear family. Today in the Heart of the Word, we hear what may be the most fundamental teaching of Jesus for our time. Every era has fundamental questions. In the past they were, does God exist? Why is there evil and suffering in the world? What is the purpose of life? Today the most fundamental questions have to do with our identity. What does it mean to be a human person? Whereas the fathers of the church would teach, God became man so that man might become God. Today we could say, God became man so that we would become human again. In biblical terms, this means that we are asking a question about a fundamental or essential anthropology, which literally means the science or logos of man, anthropos. When the scriptures use the term man, anthropos in Greek, and Adam in Hebrew, it is not exclusive, patriarchal, or derogatory. It is an intrinsically inclusive term. In fact, the word has the capacity to represent both men and women. It has the capacity for vicarious representation. This is why the Paschal lamb at a Jewish Seder must be a male lamb, and ultimately why Jesus, as a man, the God-man, offered his life for all of us, men and women, children, Jew or Gentile, on the cross. The sacrifice must be male. This is why the scriptures describe man as head of the family, not to dominate, which is the effect of sin, but to donate for self-donation, to give himself in loving sacrifice for the mother and child entrusted to his care. This is why it is important to teach young men simple customs that help them respect the dignity of women, like standing up at the table if a woman arrives, or opening the door for a young lady when she's entering a building or a car, or offering his seat to a woman if she's standing, and of course, preparing her chair so that she can be seated if they are seated at the same table. Why do we have these customs? Because every woman is the sanctuary of life, like Our Lady. Every woman has been chosen by God to be the sacred place where human life begins and grows. The vocation of womanhood, of course, involves immense sacrifice. We could say the total oblation of a woman for the life entrusted to her as a mother. This means that she is vulnerable in a way that a man is not, and that she takes on a particular responsibility, privilege, and cross when she is open to life and conceives and gives birth to a child. It means that the whole life of the woman, all of her faculties and capacities, her feminine genius, as St. John Paul II would say, is ordered to serving the life, growth, and development of the child according to God's plan, with the help of the child's father. If a young woman is not reconciled with the greatness of motherhood, she can easily resent her femininity, especially in a culture which does not teach men to love, honor, and serve women, and where a woman is taught that what is most special and unique about her is actually a sign and even a cause of weakness and oppression. Jesus says this in the Gospel, "These are the words. In the beginning, God created them male and female, and said, for this reason a man leaves father and mother and is joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. So they are no longer two, but one flesh. Therefore what God has joined together, man," which means men and women, "must not separate." My brothers and sisters, these are words that speak to us today, liberating words because they reveal God's plan for man and woman. Men and women have not been created to dominate and manipulate one another. We have been created to serve and love one another, placing our gifts at one another's service in the holy covenant of marriage, or to consecrated life, which for men includes the ministerial priesthood, because the priest is also a lamb, a living sacrifice. In this way, all that a man is meant to be a gift for woman, and all that a woman is meant to be a gift to man. And together, man and woman can give life by giving the best of who they are to their children, those born naturally, and the many spiritual children that need to know that their origin, path, and final calling is love. It is true that we are very, very wounded today, and that we have a long road ahead. But let us not be afraid to form our young men to honor and respect women, and to affirm the unique dignity and vocation of every young woman to share the beauty and splendor of Our Lady. Let us listen to these words of Mother Adela. In a few words, we are responsible for living out our vocation. That is, to live for love and to shape our hearts, marriages, children, families, communities, and society for love. Because God is love. All for the heart of Jesus, through the heart of Mary.